Something's changed at Heartland. The moment season 19 begins, you can feel it. It's heavier, deeper, and far more personal. The comforting rhythm of ranch life is still there, but beneath the surface, emotions are running wild. Grief, love, doubt, and healing collide in unexpected ways, leaving even the strongest characters on shaky ground. You thought you knew Heartland? Think again. This season will break you, mend you, and break you all over again. If you followed this journey from the beginning, prepare yourself. Because season 19 doesn't just tell a story, it cuts deep, and it makes you feel every single moment. As season 19 opens, the familiar calm of Heartland Ranch is clouded by a sense of quiet unrest. Amy, still the soul of the series, is not the same woman fans remember from the earlier seasons. She's carrying the weight of years filled with loss, change, and trying too hard to be strong for everyone else. While she continues working with horses, there's a cold distance in her eyes. Like she's there in body, but her heart is still searching for the pieces it lost. The emotional scars left by Ty's absence aren't healing. They're just hidden better now. But it's not just Amy who's changed. Lou, always the logical one, is caught in a tangle of her own regrets. Her bond with Peter is strained. They're trying to move forward, pretending like the past didn't leave bruises. But it did. And now, cracks are beginning to show. Secrets they never dealt with before are beginning to rise, threatening to tear apart the fragile truce they built for the sake of their daughters. Lou starts questioning everything. Her choices, her role as mayor, her identity as a mother. For the first time in a long while, Lou looks lost. And then there's Jack. The rock of the family, the man who never falters, suddenly seems uncertain. A quiet health scare shakes him more than he lets on. He doesn't talk about it, not at first, but his silence speaks volumes. He begins reflecting on his life, his family, and whether he's truly prepared them for the storms ahead. Lisa notices it before anyone else. She tries to be there for him, but even their bond is tested as Jack retreats into himself, questioning what legacy he's really leaving behind. Meanwhile, a storm brews in the form of Georgie's return. She's older, more mature, but carrying a storm of her own. She walks into Heartland with a new face by her side, a romantic interest who instantly feels out of place. His energy is different. His style clashes with the ranch's way of life, and while Georgie seems serious about him, others are not so sure. Amy in particular feels unsettled, sensing something in the young man that doesn't quite sit right. This tension adds another layer of emotional complexity to a family already fraying at the edges. And then, in the middle of all this, a wild horse is brought to the ranch. Not just any horse. This one has been through something brutal, something violent. Amy is drawn to him like a mirror. She sees herself in the animal's eyes, broken, defensive, unsure if trust is even possible anymore. But working with him doesn't heal her. Instead, it opens wounds she thought she'd buried. In this season, healing is not simple. It's messy, it's painful, and it costs something. As these emotional threads pull tighter, the viewers are pulled right into the storm. You feel the tension, the weight of silence in the dinner scenes, the way characters avoid eye contact when the truth is too hard to face. Everything feels raw and real, because this time, it's not about saving the ranch or fixing a business problem. It's about saving themselves. The emotional toll is undeniable. And by the end of the first few episodes, one thing becomes painfully clear. This isn't just another season of Heartland. This is the one that will test every heart, including yours. As the season moves forward, the silence between the characters grows louder than any argument. Old wounds that were never fully healed start to ache again. The Heartland family is walking on eggshells, and you can feel it in every interaction. No one wants to be the first to say what's really on their mind, but the weight of what's unspoken is suffocating. It's not one big event that shatters them. It's the slow, quiet unraveling of trust. Amy begins to lose her grip. She puts everything into rehabilitating the wild horse, named Thunder, a creature so damaged it flinches at the sound of a human voice. The deeper Amy dives into Thunder's trauma, the more disconnected she becomes from the people around her. Lou tries to reach out, but their conversation ends in frustration. Amy feels misunderstood, even by her sister. Jack watches from a distance, worried but unsure if stepping in will help or hurt. Thunder is more than just a horse to Amy. He's a living reminder of her own pain, her fear of moving on, her guilt about surviving when Ty didn't. And the harder she works to heal Thunder, the more it becomes obvious. This is not just about helping an animal. This is Amy trying to save herself, one broken moment at a time, but healing someone else's wounds doesn't erase your own. And that's a truth Amy is forced to face when Thunder lashes out during a training session, almost injuring her. This moment changes everything. Amy breaks down, not in front of anyone, but alone, in the barn, in the dark. And the tears aren't just about the horse, they're about everything she's been holding in. The pressure to be strong, the fear of being vulnerable, the ache of still loving someone who's gone. This quiet breakdown is one of the most emotionally honest moments in the entire season, and it sets the tone for what comes next. A reckoning. Meanwhile, Georgie finds herself trapped between loyalty and love. Her new boyfriend, whose presence has already raised eyebrows, begins to show a more controlling side. At first, it's subtle. A comment here, a sharp tone there, but soon it becomes clear. He doesn't respect the Heartland way of life. He wants Georgie to choose between her family and him, and the pressure starts to weigh on her. Lou notices, but doesn't want to jump to conclusions. She's trying to be the supportive aunt, not the judgmental one. But the worry grows when she sees Georgie pull away from everyone she once trusted, even Amy, even Jack. The tension builds, unspoken but heavy, until a dinner ends in a sudden walkout. Georgie leaving the table in tears after Jack questions her boyfriend's intentions. The room falls silent. No one follows her, but their hearts break all the same. At the same time, Tim is facing a crisis of his own. A risky business investment begins to fall apart, threatening not just his finances, but the very future of the ranch. Jessica, his partner in love and life, tries to warn him, but Tim, stubborn as ever, pushes forward, believing he can fix it all. But this time, the cost might be too high. His pride blinds him, and as the situation worsens, so does the distance between him and Jessica. Jessica, once full of hope and fire, starts to feel like she's drowning. She didn't sign up for chaos, she didn't expect to feel like a second thought, and she certainly didn't expect Tim to shut her out. Their relationship, once solid, now feels fragile, like a glass that's already cracked. One more mistake, and it might shatter completely. As the cracks spread across every relationship, a single theme begins to rise: the danger of not speaking your truth. Season 19 doesn't rely on dramatic cliffhangers or wild plot twists. Instead, it hurts you with the little things, the missed chances, the broken promises, the silences that say too much. Every character is fighting their own private war, and the audience is left wondering who will find the strength to be honest, and who will lose everything by staying silent. Because at Heartland, love isn't always enough. Not when pain goes unspoken. When silence becomes unbearable, someone has to break it. But in Heartland Season 19, breaking the silence comes at a cost. Words once left unsaid now spill out in moments of anger, heartbreak, or desperation. The truth doesn't bring peace right away. It brings pain. And slowly, the emotional pressure reaches a boiling point for each character. Amy, after the incident with Thunder, begins to pull away from everyone, even from the horses she once found comfort in. For the first time, we see her question not only her work, but her identity. Who is she without Ty? Who is she if she can't save Thunder? She tries to put on a brave face, but Jack sees through it. One night, he finds her sitting alone by the old barn, lost in thought. What follows is a raw, tearful conversation, the kind that only happens when a person feels completely broken. Amy confesses that she's scared. Scared she'll never stop grieving. Scared she'll never move on. Jack, usually the strong, quiet type, doesn't offer advice. He just listens. And sometimes, that's all a person really needs. But just when Amy starts to open up again, life delivers another blow. Thunder is taken away by the authorities after a heated disagreement with another trainer leads to complaints. Amy feels betrayed, not by strangers, but by people she thought were on her side. It's not just the horse that's taken away, it's a piece of Amy's healing process, and it leaves her devastated. At the same time, Georgie's relationship comes crashing down in a way no one saw coming. Her boyfriend, under pressure and desperate to keep control, starts to show signs of emotional manipulation. He isolates her, makes her question her worth, and then blames her when things go wrong. But Georgie, strong and smart, finally reaches her limit. In a heart-wrenching scene, she ends it, tears streaming down her face, voice trembling but with strength in her heart. She walks away, not just from him, but from the version of herself that accepted less than she deserved. This moment becomes a turning point, not just for Georgie, but for the family. Amy and Lou, who've both been so wrapped up in their own struggles, finally come together to support her. It's not perfect. They don't suddenly fix everything, but there's a warmth, a connection, a spark of healing that begins with simply being there for each other. Meanwhile, Tim faces the consequences of his reckless decision. The business deal collapses, leaving him not only in financial trouble, but emotionally drained. Jessica confronts him, not with anger, but with disappointment. She tells him she feels invisible, that she's tired of playing second to his pride. Her voice doesn't rise. It's calm, controlled, and that makes it hurt even more. Tim, who has always pushed through pain with grit and stubbornness, finally breaks. He admits he's scared of failure, scared of being vulnerable, scared of losing the family he's fought so hard to rebuild. And for the first time, he apologizes, not just to Jessica, but to himself. All of these emotional storms bring us to a quiet but powerful shift. Lou, who's been trying to hold everyone together, realizes that maybe she doesn't need to fix everything. Sometimes, the best way to lead is to step back and let others find their way. She begins to rebuild her connection with Peter, not with grand gestures, but with small, honest conversations. They laugh again, not because everything's perfect, but because they're choosing to try. And Jack, solid, dependable Jack, finally admits to Lisa that he's tired, that the weight of being the family's foundation is wearing him down. Lisa takes his hand and says something simple but unforgettable. "You don't have to carry us. We carry each other." It's in that moment Jack lets go, not of his responsibilities, but of the need to be everything for everyone. By now, the emotional toll of season 19 is undeniable. Every character has been brought to their breaking point, but in their pain, we see something beautiful. Honesty, vulnerability, growth, and most importantly, hope, because healing doesn't happen all at once. It comes in fragments, in quiet talks, in shared glances, in the decision to stay even when it's hard. And that's what Heartland gets so right. It's not just about the big moments, it's about the small ones, the ones that remind us we're not alone in our pain. Season 19 is not just a chapter in Heartland's story. It's a deep emotional journey where characters face the darkest parts of themselves and slowly find their way back to light. But the journey isn't over yet, and the road ahead may still hold heartbreak. So, what's next for these beloved characters? The final episodes of Heartland Season 19 are not loud. They're not filled with dramatic music or over-the-top moments. Instead, they whisper. They whisper truths we've been waiting to hear, show us emotions that have been buried for too long, and gently pull us into the rawest, most human side of the Heartland story. Amy, after everything she's endured, losing Thunder, facing her past, breaking down, finally begins to understand what healing really means. It doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending the pain is gone. It means learning to live with it, to carry it not as a weight, but as a part of who you are. One night, under the stars, she returns to the old jumping ring, where so many of her memories with Ty were made. She closes her eyes, and for a moment, it's like he's there. Not physically, but in spirit. And that's when she lets go. Not of Ty, but of the guilt, the fear, the pressure to move on. She lets herself simply be Amy Fleming, strong and grieving, but still standing. But Amy isn't the only one stepping into a new chapter. Georgie, fresh from the wreckage of a broken relationship, rediscovers her own fire. She decides to travel, to chase opportunities that had once felt too far, too impossible. Before leaving, she has a moment with Jack, who tells her something that sticks. Don't wait for life to happen. Ride straight into it. That line doesn't just close their scene, it becomes a theme for the finale. This season isn't just about surviving the emotional storms, it's about finding the courage to walk into whatever comes next. Meanwhile, Lou and Peter finally have the conversation we've been waiting for. It's not about whether they'll get back together, it's about honesty, about facing the truth that love isn't always about romance. Sometimes it's about respect, friendship, and choosing to raise a family, even from two different paths. Their exchange is quiet, but mature. And by the end, there's a sense of peace between them. Not closure, but peace. A calm understanding that whatever the future holds, they will face it with kindness. And then, Jack Bartlett, the heart of Heartland, makes a decision that surprises everyone. After years of being the rock, the guide, the voice of reason, he decides to step back. Not from the family, but from always needing to lead. He passes on some of his responsibilities to the younger generation, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. He realizes that part of loving your family is trusting them to carry on what you built. His final scene with Lisa is deeply emotional. He thanks her for being his partner, his strength, and Lisa, holding his hand, says, "Now it's our time to rest. Let them ride." That moment feels like a goodbye, not from Jack, but from the man he used to be, and the birth of something gentler, more peaceful. The season ends not with a twist, but with a soft landing. Nathan, the mysterious new character, finally opens up. We learn about his past, his own loss, his hidden scars, and why he came to Heartland. His journey runs parallel to Amy's in many ways. And in the final scene, when Amy watches him ride across the field, there's a sense of understanding between them. Not romance, not conflict, just connection. The kind that comes from two people who've seen darkness and chosen to keep going anyway. And then there's one final letter. Ty's voice, through a letter Amy finds in a forgotten drawer, brings everything full circle. It's a note he wrote long ago, never sent, full of dreams for the future, memories of their life together. And one last message. If you're reading this, it means I'm not there with you. But know this. I never really left. I'm in every sunrise, every hoofbeat, every wild wind across the ranch. Keep riding, Amy. Keep loving, keep living. By the end of season 19, we're not just watching characters grow, we're growing with them. We've cried with them, hurt with them, and slowly, painfully, healed with them. The emotional toll is heavy, but the beauty lies in how each tear leads to a new understanding, a new chapter, a new beginning. Heartland Season 19 doesn't just demand your attention, it demands your heart. And it leaves you with a question. How do we move forward when everything we once knew changes? The answer is simple, yet powerful. Together. So keep your tissues close, not just for the sadness, but for the moments that make you feel deeply alive. Because this season doesn't just end, it stays with you. What part of season 19 touched your heart the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you're not ready to say goodbye just yet, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and keep riding with us through every twist, tear, and tender moment.